Well, it's exciting. It's been a long morning getting everything set up, ready to go. We've dodged some rain a little bit, but we've got Sir Nick here. We're ready to do some fitting and really see how it goes. We got a heavy breeze, which is going to be great because he knows his ball flight so well. We're really going to get to see how the clubs are performing in the ball flight. I was nervous when we first got here. Didn't know when Nick was going to arrive. It's been a little bit. It's about 1 o'clock. Nerves have subsided now, and we're just ready to get going. You've allowed your lofts to flow as the industry's gotten a little bit stronger?
No, I go on just on trajectory and distance that I need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, actually, the 60s, I don't strike it the same as I used to.
Right.
And I can't keep it down.
Okay.
So I don't like it riding up the face.
Right.
So I like to feel like I can drive it in.
So the couple degrees stronger is working.
58, yeah,
Yep.
That's 58 and the 54s. And that's 50, I think. I cranked it at 50, and I know that's 46.
Wow, so you go 50, 54, 58?
Something like that, yeah. Something close to that, 54 now. Whatever, I'm just looking for distances. I know this, I can get that 115, I can get this 100, and this is like 85. So that's perfect, I've covered.
Right.
I'd actually rather do it that way. I couldn't care less of the number. If I know I can, I'm
Right.
having double, but if I was really grinding on getting the set perfect, I'd go for distance rather than what the number says.
So more than anything, when you're the specs were just the specs to get you a distance.
Exactly, I was a distance, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Priority was to hit the club.
Right.
The distance.
So what was your 6-iron distance?
Yeah, I think old days was probably, hang on. Probably a lot shorter than we think. I bet it was like hang on, so I'm sure I could do 125 of a wedge, 35 with a 9, 45 to 50 with an 8, 55, 60 with a 7, 65, 70 with a 65, 70 with a 6.
And where are you now with your 6?
But I'm 75, 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You've allowed your distances to even go up.
I can get, if I'm hitting it good, I can get 200 with a 4-iron. Which in the old days, that was 2-iron through the air. That was a 200-yard shot. If you had a 1-iron in the bag, you got it maybe 210, 215.
Right.
So that's completely changed, isn't it?
So that means your wedges have really spread out then, if everything's pushed up so far.
Yeah.
We haven't had you on the shaft optimizer in a while. I know you've been working at your game a little bit and getting some swings in.
Well, let me get a couple more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Longer ones.
Swing some and
I'll hit some.
Absolutely.
Hit a couple at full speed, and I'll be ready. Well, I keep thinking sometimes, God, these are hard work, because these are still brutes, these 6.5s and 130 grams, and
Right.
you keep thinking, I want to go lighter to go faster, but it doesn't suit my tempo. But I think I need a bit of, I'd like to think there's something out there that would just give me a bit more zip, or it's going to say, hard luck, mate, this fits you, and keep going with them.
have you experimented with lighter?
Yeah, I went a little lighter.
What'd you feel with it?
Well, I felt all right, but I did lose a couple of yards. I definitely hit these 2 and 3 yards further. So everything was a little better. The penetration and the distance was a little better. So,
I know you've always been pretty dialed in with swing weights and everything. When you go lighter on a shaft, so overall lighter, do you swing weight still stay the same, or do you?
I still stay between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why should I go light and light?
No, I was just curious what felt better to you with feeling the overall weight and the swing weight, if you made any adjustments there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm open to suggestions now.
Well, let's get you to hit the shaft optimizer.
Where they go.
Kind of feel some stuff, and we'll see what we see and look at your numbers.
Right, give me some real golf balls.
Absolutely. We'll grab some right here. Let me grab your numbers off of there. 90.
9.90.
90 miles per hour. Tempo 6455. So that's your tempo, your toe down, your kick angle, and your release. So 6 on the tempo, a little bit on the faster side, which is better with a heavier shaft.
Yeah.
That higher tempo means that probably when you get too light,
Yeah.
might lose the feeling of where the club is throughout the
Okay.
swing. Swing there. Grab these numbers for you.
Ooh.
690, 6455. Very consistent. Grab one more.
Barely.
Nice.
Out the middle, I get extra points for out the middle.
90,
Some,
6454.
what's that one?
Just one tick, meaning the shaft released a hair later that time, meaning it held on a little bit
Better.
longer.
Yeah.
90,
A tick.
64. So what we'll do here is we'll plug those in, and we can kind of graph where you are in the world of, this is how we define where all the shafts live.
Yeah.
So we basically put a swing DNA to everything, meaning a head speed, a tempo, and then a toe down kick angle release factor graphed in the 3D world to show that, you know,
Yeah.
if your data lines up directly with the shaft, then that'll be the perfect one for you. Otherwise, we look at all these different shafts, that's what each of those dots represents,
Okay.
and we'll pick the shortest distance, meaning that's the shaft that's going to be closest to your swing. So we'll view your recommendations. So what we're
And
looking
the
at
winner is?
right now, our top 3 would be a KBS Tour X Flex, a
Yeah.
Dynamic Gold Stiff Flex, or Project X
Oh.
6.5.
Well, that's me,
Which
6.5.
6.5 is what you're playing right now.
The best is 125 gram.
It is 125 in the standard Project X 6.5.
Okay. I thought they were 130.
It's
No?
one. I think the 7.0 might be 130. The 6.5 is
Oh, okay.
125.
So it's
Yep.
so it's still on the list, but
It is.
the other two could be
Well, that's the whole thing. Is these aren't really
Yeah.
ranked 1 through 3. This is just saying these 3.
Suggestions.
We're gonna.
These
It's gonna be
suggestions.
somewhere in these.
So if I then you got those here?
Yeah, let's build them up right now and we can try them
That's
all.
what I like.
Absolutely.
Don't have to wait 24 hours to fix a golf club. It's a good old S300. Wow, I can't believe that. That's hilarious. I was thinking that, do I need to go to an S and get a heavy S?
In the Dynamic Gold, the S it's a firmer tip S, so it could be one that you could get away with it. But you saw on the
Yeah.
slightly softer tip shafts, the Project X and the KBS, it puts you in an X Flex. And how long ago did you switch to Project X?
18 months ago. Just 20 months ago.
Yep.
So I went to Montana,
Right.
end of the season in 16, and then we were doing some having a little event out there. Mizuno came to entertain the customers,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the shaft optimized. Yeah. So that's when I went on. You know, I spent a month doing TV, and I've flown across America.
Right.
And that evening, I saw the shaft optimized. Oh, give me a go. So I hit 3 balls, and it flashed up. Try the granddad shaft, you know. And I thought, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Give me a day's rest. I came back that next day and threw myself at it, and then I got to, you know.
Right.
And we had a TrackMan there as well, and then they just plugged it over, swapped it over, and I got 6 more yards in my irons.
Oh, wow,
like,
okay.
Like that. I said, well, that's hello, mate, send
Right.
me a set.
Was it mostly head speed or was it spin or?
Everything, spin, launch. I got the thing up a little more, you know, that was
Right.
so.
How does the flight on that one look to you? Are you feeling anything with this? Because this is the 130 gram, so it's a little bit heavier than what you're playing now.
But it feels, that feels like it's got obviously a little bit more kick at the bottom, I think. A tiny bit more kick. Not sure, just see what this is. Barely cut. Oh.
A lot of this, once we get to here, once we are dialed in, none of these are going to be too far off. What we'd expect is that
That's
this,
stiff, yeah.
The spin rates between them are going to be within 100 or couple hundred RPM. Ball speed's not going to be too different because everything's within a weight range, a weight category, and then a tip stiffness as well. So there's slight variances in the tip stiffness, but it shouldn't be too different from any of these three.
Yeah.
Sometimes the player will feel this one felt better, this one didn't feel better. Sometimes there might be just that couple hundred RPM could be the difference in what you're looking for.
See, so that's coming out a little lower, a little easier to hit.
Yep.
And probably going a little further.
And that's with this, that's the S flex.
S one, yeah. So that's nice now. There you go.
So let's try this one.
I'm hitting these way further.
Is getting a little bit more out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch this head to the KBS X Flex. Have you tried that much?
Yeah. Now I can feel a little different kick, and then I can see a different flight, and the way the shaft unloads. I can feel it unload a little differently. And then it flies a little lower, that S300, and it was actually flying a little further, it looked like, so that's very favorable. Now that feels even lighter again, and that felt like it had even more club head speed. There you go.
So that one, the KBS is there's a little bit less stiffness in the tip, so there's a little less material there.
Yeah.
So it typically swing weights out about a point lighter.
Okay.
And on top of that, it's going to kick a little bit more. You might have felt more down at the bottom.
I want speed. I want the thing to work. I want the, look at that go.
That's carrying.
So that's easier. There's no resistance. You want the flex and the vibration to match what you're feeling. Mm-hmm. If it's fighting you or it's too much, or you just want it to be, even thin, it was right there. I mean, it was square at impact. So I love just playing. It's like having your own mini tournament. You have a playoff. That one versus. See what this is my one, which is going to feel. Whoa! See the difference of that? Higher.
Yeah.
That had a way more. Oh, and went shorter. Bah! Sorry. Higher and shorter. We're not looking for higher and shorter. We're looking for a bit of zip. I need some zip in my. Oh, that went a bit late.
Missed that one a little, but.
A little late on that one. All right, one more.
It does seem to take off on a little bit better trajectory.
Yeah, this comes out a little faster, seems like. All right, where's that going to go? Ooh,
It's carrying a good ways farther.
Now swap it back.
Yep. Back to this.
Yeah, no, back to
dynamic gold.
dynamic.
Yep.
My one's lost already. My one's third out of 3 already.
Usually at this point we know it's pretty close, and this is just, there's no bad choice between these two. So this is where it's really on the player to see
Be ready, when it's like this, for me, I'd have 2 sets made.
One with each.
Yeah, and then I have a real playoff. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Plus, with this game, we're here in this weather. It's nice, it's warmish, it's breezy, and
It's got a good flight too.
yeah,
They're not too dissimilar between those two.
So for me, I can feel which one is like hopefully giving me 100% of impact.
Which one feels like that?
I thought that one has a little of thinking, maybe because I used these for 20 or plus years or more, a dynamic, good old dynamic has stood the, see that, whoa, it's nice, isn't it?
It's like
I like
to
it
an
just
old
be
friend.
it's a smack of squareness. All right, change back.
Yep.
Let's see if it, so that was, You're splitting hairs. Fortunately, if you can feel it, you're splitting hairs.
Right.
But I think if you had 2 sets and then long irons, you might, as I said, you want to just trust that when you do that, the thing's square. It unwinds 100% and it's dead square and you hit it solid. You don't, i.e. the toe doesn't release in a slightly. I think this is over-releasing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which makes sense because you had
it goes. You see, this feels like it's got a little bit more there. Whether I like that, or whether you like to have that, it feels like one's like there and one's like there at release.
Mm-hmm.
One shaft is there and the other one's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'd hope I deemed unprivileged.
Right.
I could have 2 sets and try them, and I could really fine tune it. I could go out and play, and I'd go out and play 2 balls, and I'd go through, or even more than 2. I'd go everywhere in the golf course. I hit my drive down. I put 4 balls out, and I'd hit 2 with each, I bet, and you feel it. And you're either me splitting hairs all day, or you hit 4 balls and you go, that's it, it's done. Love that one. That one's, get me? It can either happen like that or you spend all day. But generally, something will happen and you go, okay, that's the difference that makes a difference. That's what I'm looking for, yeah.
Are you looking more at long irons when you're out on the course,
No, I need everything. No,
Yeah.
I need irons. Obviously now, I need long irons to stay up.
Yep.
And I like my short irons I still like to see it there. I like to see the wedges there, not up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. And I need spin now. See, it would be, as I've got older and I haven't got the same release, or I have less spin, so I need more spin when it lands to
Right.
stop the darn thing, because now I have to adjust. When I played a year ago in South Africa, wow, I got 170 to the hole, but I got to land it 160 because this thing wouldn't stop.
Right.
Obviously the tall players, bonk, they stopped in half the distance. That makes a huge difference when they put a front pin.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, oh, okay, where do I land this?
How
If
much
I-
of that do you think is you versus the golf ball spinning a little bit less
A
now?
little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
The modern ball, I've never, to be fair, obviously I was a Bellata man.
Right.
And,
There's no way this will spin like a Velata used
No,
to.
I used to we squashed the golf ball back
Right.
then. Now the guys explode at it, and they, so I can't compress it. I don't feel like I can compress it like, Bellata is like playing a bar of soap.
Right.
So, but it was lovely because it went, and we could nearly make it do crazy. We could nearly make it kind of like, I'll start it low and send it high over that tree, and we could nearly do crazy things like that.
Right.
So, we could do. The thing that we did that you liked them and then you had to adapt to them. So they weren't quite right, but you have to compensate. And so we ended up compensating. It was a tough call because, changing shafts back in the day was a 24-hour job, especially with the old persimmon. It had to be pinned and the glues took overnight, so then they had to whip the dart. So that was an operation. So you did all of that, then you hit it and you went, oh, I'm not sure about it, but you hit a few more and you could adapt to it. But now you don't have to. You don't have to accept any of that. If it doesn't, I call them one-hit wonders. If a shaft doesn't work with one hit, this will take over. So you've got to, so a really cool test is to, especially if you're choosing driver shafts, I'd hit my 2-iron, because that was pure, smack a 2-iron, see it fly perfectly, grab a driver, one swing. If it went in that slot, if it went there or there, it was literally no, because second ball, of course, this is so clever, you would adapt, and then you'd hit it perfect, but we only get one go on a golf course.
The first swing is the honest swing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's a bit like this. This is why I love this, is because in the old days, you would hit balls all day to test your shafts. I used to get 4 sets. Turbo would grind me 4 sets. I remember being down in Spain, and I was hitting ball, and I'd have all 4 sets there. I don't know how I did that. And I would hit. I remember hitting 4-irons one day, going 4-iron, right, lovely. Another 4-iron, next, like, whoa, where did that come from? So that's when I then learned. Well, we didn't. It was like this. I like that head and this set of shafts. So I'd mark up the heads. Set 1 and set 2, and then the shaft set 1 and set 2. And then if they needed to be swapped, then I would have a number 1 set. So I believed that shaft, well, the head looked great, and then the shaft, I tested. I'd hand test, swung test.
Right.
And that's how that's how we did it. Yeah, and that was a real process. You know, carting sets of clubs around to find some sunshine to go and practice. Well, now here, look at this. This takes literally 5 minutes. 3 balls, shaft test, change it a few times. I mean, the average golfer will go, hopefully we'll see numbers and see a ball flight.
I thought it was good. I think he made some great points. I mean, he's such a technician, you know, and so because he's a technician, he knows specs, he equates everything, talks with his hands, he talks about it, and he gets it. He understands that, you know, that people, whether you're just beginning or at his level, you know, you need to have the right shaft. And that's what he talked about.
He was able to confirm everything that we were trying to test. So when we got him down to 3, we knew they were close. He could tell they were close, but he's got the feel to be able to tell the subtle differences in there as well, and could really just see from one to the next what he's looking for, because none of them were a bad fit.
No, you're right, and that's where, you know, that's where the shaft optimizer, you know, there's where the science, you know, nails it down to, like you said, a couple offerings, 2 or 3 offerings, and like you said, you let the customer with the work with the fitter to come up with a golf club and shaft that's better for them.
Yeah, it's always fun to have somebody who is so knowledgeable go through the system and appreciate what it's able to do, as opposed to just a normal person comes in and they're intimidated right off the bat. Nick knows about every one of these shafts. He knows about all the heads. He knows about all the combinations. So for him to understand and realize the power of a tool like that is pretty neat. It was interesting that he's been through the system before. He's seen it. He knows what he likes. And it kind of circled him back to something he had played before, but it did that in a lighter flex. So it was something else he had considered. It's another approach as opposed to going lighter, is just taking something you know but going slightly softer.
Yeah, I agree. I think we fit him back in April. He was on the shaft optimizer, and his numbers didn't change a lot. And the 3 or 4 shafts that came out in April with the same shafts that came now, he was just a little bit more receptive to trying something a little bit different now, a little softer, because in that time frame, he's not playing as much anymore, and he understands that I need to maybe get something a little bit softer. So one of those shafts was there for him, but at that time, he was playing more, and he decided not to. So the shaft optimizer did what it was supposed to do. It recommended, you know, his shaft, and it didn't change.
You know, Nick is always really cool. He makes you feel special there. So he's there. It's a little bit intimidating being around somebody who's so accomplished, but at the same time, he's a club junkie just like we are. I mean, he's an equipment nerd, which you kind of embrace him because of that. So it's easier to be around him, because when he gets in that element, he just likes to talk about golf equipment just like we do.
Shaft optimizer, like I said, can't get nervous because he doesn't know he's a 6-time major winner, because the shaft optimizer doesn't care if you shoot par, you shoot 100, or if you are a 6-time major. So that's what beauty of the shaft optimizer. It's a great diagnostic tool for everybody.